Hello questions, Mystery Writer here, and today I will be reading The Death of a Hero by Mystery Writer. Now I'm going to start with the fact that this fic has trigger warnings, and I want you all to please listen with caution, because if the name isn't enough of a warning, then the trigger warnings that are currently on screen should be enough of a warning. Because, the entirety of the class dies. So let's go ahead and jump right into the summary. My coworker gave me an idea. Said idea went wild. His exact prompt? Kill off the main character and any character that will cause trauma or chaos. I want maximum depression. So this one shot is dedicated to him. With Deku's death, a curse has taken hold of Class 1A. All 20 students die, lots of trauma. Last person standing commits suicide. Aizawa wants nothing more than to stop it. Everyone remembered exactly how it all started. 20 of the brightest heroes, including the symbol of hope, all died within 6 months of each other. 2 kids knew better than anyone, as part of the story was never published in any articles. 20 heroes, all lost before their 25th birthdays. Zuko was just doing a routine patrol when his phone went off, signaling to a villain attack that has put civilians in danger, a request for backup. He was only a 5-minute quirk-enhanced run from the location, so he went. He wasn't fully prepared for what exactly he was running into. As soon as he arrived on scene, Izuku took 2 seconds to notice the 2 kids still trapped in the building that was starting to come down, and the heroes fighting the villains. He didn't hesitate, just jumped through the window on the 3rd floor, getting to the kids as the building came down on them. No one knew what happened. No one saw when he got hit by one of the villains' quirks. All anyone knew was that the symbol of hope had arrived. Izuku was quick to hold up any debris from the building, protecting the kids. Unfortunately, he couldn't stop the rebar that went straight through his chest, piercing along and doing more internal damage along the way. He stayed still, just holding the building, trying to crush him and the kids. Izuku grimaced slightly as the blood that got on, maybe even in, the boy's mouth. The little boy had stepped in front of his sister, trying to protect her. Izuku just smiled, trying to let the kids know that they had nothing to fear. You two are going to be okay. I won't let anything happen to you, alright? When he saw the 2 nods, his strained smile became much easier to hold. What was maybe 30 minutes felt like hours. Izuku could finally hear the end of the battle, the crowd cheering. He was really struggling to hold up the 20 stories worth of rubble on them. He finally let out a breath of relief when he heard someone yell about seeing him go into the building he's currently in. These kids are going to be okay. They're going to be fine. Izuku could feel the rubble shifting above him, getting steadily lighter and lighter. Just as it was light enough he could grab the 2 kids and push through, the debris shifted just wrong for him. A second rebar cut through his neck. He choked on the blood, but held tight to the debris, determined to save the kids. Izuku looked at the boy. God, he looks so much like I did around their age. Over. His gaze lingers on the blood and, holding the rubble with one hand, he gently takes the boy's face, knowing what he had to do, and smeared the blood into his open mouth. Do me a favor, kids, he chokes out. Live, be heroes, and save the others. As the last word was choked out, the last of the rubble was cleared by the heroes. As soon as the pressure was released, Izuku's entire body slumped, only held up by the 2 pieces of rebar stabbing through him. Uraka was the first hero to see Izuku, watching his hand fall from the black-haired boy's face. She stifled a scream and held her hand out to the kids, using her quirk to get them out. Just above them, Zuko was watching with a small smile before turning to face his predecessors. I'm sorry I can't help longer, but I couldn't let them die. That boy, I think he can and will be a great 10th holder. The ghostly tears falling from his face shocked the 8 ghosts. It was Yagi who was first to recover. Welcome home, my boy. No, I can't join you guys permanently until I guide all 19 home. That villain, I know what his quirk will do. The news was broke to the entire nation that night. Everyone who was in Japan had heard about the symbol of hope, the #1 hero dying at such a young age just to save 2 kids. Unfortunately, one hero from the 1A class wasn't as lucky. He was overseas for a secret mission. The news was broken to him in the worst possible way 3 days later. He had just gotten out of the airport when the first reporter spotted him. Pro Hero Ground Zero, what's your thoughts on Deku's death? The fuck? Bakugo didn't know anything about any of his classmates dying. What the fuck? What do you fucking mean Deku is dead, Extra? When the fuck did this happen? His voice raised naturally as he glowered at the reporter. Soon enough, another stupid reporter held up a phone showing a news article. The headline reading, Pro Hero Deku's family and friends asked for a private funeral. How to show your support. That was the first time Bakugo felt himself break down on a camera. He choked. I need to go. His voice was breaking as the tears started to fall, shoving his way through the sea of reporters. He quickly finds his ride, and before they can start going anywhere, he demands, take me to Musutafu, my old hag's house. His driver nodded and drove off. The entire ride, Katsuki was crying in the back seat over the loss of his childhood friend turned rival. It was only 3 days after the funeral when the next death occurred. Shoto Todoroki was the first one back on active patrol from his class, and he had the unfortunate joy of coming across Freezerburn, a villain with an ambient thermoregulation quirk. Not only could the villain make fire and ice, but also gas and water. Shoto was blindsided thanks to the vapor in the air and couldn't see the attack. The villain killed him with a knife to his abdomen and by freezing him. After Pro Hero Shoto's death, the headlines were quick to roll out each time one of the class died. Breaking news, Pro Heroes Aravity and Froppy killed during rescue mission. Hero Cellophane lost during villain attack. Creating an Earphone Jack brutally murdered on vacation. Is there a curse? Charge Bolt, Tsukiyomi, and Genium and Tentacoil all killed this month. Shinzo Hitoshi was proud. He had managed to become a pro hero after securing his spot in 1A while Mineta was expelled. He was an underground going by the name Mindjack, doing a simple recon mission. A simple recon mission. Yeah, fucking right. Shinzo could barely see out of one eye, was being held up by chains, and was pretty sure he was currently bleeding from his right leg and left side of his chest. I guess I'm next to the damn curse that hit our class. Hitoshi knew someone should be coming to rescue him soon, considering he definitely missed at least 2 check-ins. Maybe he could hold on a little longer, though that bullet wound in his leg definitely didn't help. 5 hours later, Invisible Girl showed up to find Mindjack had already passed. She saw a flash of bright green light, but ignored it as she grabbed her old classmate and fellow hero's body before attempting to leave. She stopped dead in her track when she was shot from behind, the bullet going through her chest. 2 more gone. I'm coming, Izuku. Sugarman and Tailman killed in a bombing. With each new headline about the class, the news kept getting wilder and wilder theories. There was also the supposed sightings that were occurring at any scenes where one of the old classmates died. Gone with a flash of green, can't stop twinkling. Yesterday, Pro Hero Can't Stop Twinkling died in the line of duty. Witnesses said that moments after he was brutally ripped in half, there was a flash of bright green light and the body of the hero lying on the ground. This is the third confirmed sighting of the green light at the hero's death, all of which have involved Deku's old high school classmates. Is there a curse on these poor souls? This is an all-time record for hero deaths ever since the war these young heroes went through during their first year of high school. Has Deku come back to help his classmates one last time? Pinky dies a death of irony, killed by electricity and acid. Animal-type hero Anima crushed during second earthquake rescue efforts. He stared at the computer screen in front of him. Bakugo had had a terrible feeling about Ejiro going on patrol, and it turned out to be right. It wasn't even 30 minutes after his friend's death that the first article was posted. It was official. Katsuki was alone. 9 of his classmates made it out alive. He was the current #1 hero, and he felt like shit because of it. He was #1 because Izuku died. He was #1 because Shoto slipped up on his first patrol back and was killed. He was alone. It was officially 6 months after Midoriya Izuku had died when Aizawa was called by Bakugo. I'm sorry, I can't stay here anymore. They're all gone. Every last one of those fuckers left me behind. Bakugo, what are you saying? Kid, talk to me. You aren't alone. But I am! Zuzu left me first, and now A is gone. I'm alone, goddamn. His voice breaks over the phone. It's fine. I won't be alone much longer. Bakugo, don't. It's not worth it. You've been doing so much good. You can't leave the world now. Bakugo hangs up the phone, unbeknownst to him that his old teacher was running across rooftops to reach his home. He looks down at the knife in his hand, making his final decision in that moment. He slowly digs the tip of the blade into his left wrist before swiftly slicing down to his elbow, the blood flowing in a steady rhythm with his heart. He ignores the pain and repeats the action with his right arm before letting the knife fall to the floor. The picture of his entire class only a few weeks after the USJ incident is sitting on the coffee table in front of him, and that's where his gaze falls. Just as the edges of his vision start going black, he hears knocking on his front door. He ignores it, ignores the yelling, ignores the threats from his old teacher, and continues to stare. Seconds go by that feel like hours, and then the familiar red eyes and black hair flood the last bit of vision Bakugo has. He smiles at the man in front of him and mutters, "It's okay," before his gaze lands just behind his old teacher. There, right behind Aizawa, is a green angel. An angel that he recognizes from their life together. He chokes on a sob and reaches out his hand. Zu. It's time to go, Kachan. The entire class is waiting for you. We're all so sorry you had to wait so long to join us, that you were alone. Izuku holds his hand out to Katsuki, his bright smile just as wide as the day he died. Let's go to your new home. Aizawa had seen death plenty during his time as a pro hero, but this death, Bakugo's suicide, was terrible. It hurt more than almost any death he had dealt with in the past. Bakugo's suicide was a close third, first being Obero's, and second being the death that seemed to be the start of how he loses his Hell class. Midoriya, problem child, Izuku. It was hard telling Eri and Koda that their favorite hero died. But at least he died doing what he loved and protecting those poor kids. Aizawa was just happy he got one last glimpse of the problem child, now with wings on his back. Since he couldn't do anything to save Bakugo. Since he couldn't do anything to save any of his Hell class. Ending notes. This could lead to a spin-off following the 2 kids Deku rescued. IDK yet. Now, I personally haven't reread this since the day I wrote it / published it. And rereading it just brought up all kinds of emotions, my god. So, yeah, this fic is a little more raw with how I read it and everything, because it was almost like reading it for the first time, even though I was the one who wrote this. And I want you all to know that there are people out there who care. So if you at all feel like you're alone or like it might be best to just end everything, it's not. It never will be. And you are very much not alone in whatever you're going through. I hope you all enjoyed this podfic, and I hope you all got hit in the feels, because that was the whole goal of this fic. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.